Hey guys, it's Rob here. Today, I'm going over the fifth Chuck E. Cheese location to ever open, that being the one in Huntington Beach, California. It was also the oldest operating Chuck E. Cheese until recently. I want to thank Miguel Productions for being the original requester of this location, and also thank all these other people for also requesting it. As usual, I've gathered information from multiple different sources, which I'll be linking in the description. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, as in the next video, I'll be going over a location which had a one-of-a-kind stage setup. Anyways, let's get into the history of Chuck E. Cheese in Huntington Beach, California. In March of 1979, Albertsons, a grocery store chain, would sell their property on 15511 Edwards Street to Pizza Time Theater, and also granted them permission to obtain the city's approval to operate a Pizza Time Theater in the building on that property. The request would be made on April 2nd, and we actually get a look at what their layout, alongside their exterior, was to look like during this time. Said exterior was actually very unique, with a glass wall being in front of the main building walls, which is a remnant from its Albertson days, and the Pizza Time Theater sign being put on top. Moving on to the floor plans, the main dining area with the show would be in the center of the location, with a private dining area in the back. To the right of that would be a cabaret dining room, and below that, the arcade area. There was also this hallway that had all the counter areas, alongside an ice cream and salad bar, plus the country store, which was probably meant to be Jasper's general store. On April 11th, the request would be conditionally approved, meaning that they approved of the request so long as certain conditions were met, such as increasing parking space. Later that year, in October of 1979, the 15511 Edwards Street location opened as a Pizza Time Theater, opening with a shelf stage. They would be the third location to open with this stage type, and the third overall to have cyberamics. Alongside this, they would also open with Helen Cabaret Act, being the first location to have her, and one of two known locations to ever have her, with Citrus Heights being the other one. In her role as a cabaret act, she was portrayed as a rock singer and played on her guitar. They were also the fifth location to ever open. We have a few photos from opening day, coming from the December 1979 edition of Pizza Times, with the first giving us a look at an employee area, and the second one showing bumper cars, showing a bear one as well as a dog one. I'm unsure how common these were. They may have been unique to Huntington Beach, or they could have been used at other locations, but it's the first time I've seen them, so they appear to be unique. The third and last photo shows off their Helen Henny cabaret, where we see that she wore a blue dress, had brown hair, and had a backdrop with a mic and some sort of light fixture, which came together to make her stage look like a recording studio. We have a partial exterior shot, presumably from 1979, that shows us that the exterior used a wood finish. We can also see one of their marquees, which mentions Sally Sachet, who was likely the guest star that they opened with. We have a couple of undated photos that are likely from between 1979 and the early 80s, with the first one being of a Chuck walk around that looks just like the cyberamic version of Chuck. The next photo shows another photo of their cabaret Helen, being behind Nolan Bushnell, so this certainly makes for a pretty unique photo. By 1982, Huntington Beach would replace Helen with the King, which we see in a photo from later that year, showing off the King, but also showing off their Chuck walk around, being the standard one, and a Jasper walk around, which was also the standard one. By 1984, the location would receive Helen as their permanent guest star, as every other location would do. 1986 footage gives us a look at their shelf stage, where the bots look to be in good shape, with no issues I can see. Interestingly enough, Chuck is in his bandstand attire, though other characters that we see here, like Jasper and Helen, are not. We also can see their warblets, the white variant, and their flag wavers. They also have history of rock and roll decor in the showroom, which is the first time I've seen decor for a specific show tape hung up, and it's certainly an interesting sight to see. We also get to see their games and rides here. 1987 footage gives us another look at the showroom, with the green Pizza Time Theater carpet, as well as the staircase that appears to lead to the ball pit area, which we also see here. We also see this mural, which I can't really make out, though it does seem to be unique as well. We get a glimpse of the shelf stage, only seeing Chuck, who is in his summertime attire, with a yellow shirt and holding a net catcher. We also see two flag wavers beside him. More footage from 1987 shows off the game room yet again, though moving to the showroom, we can see counter areas in the back, alongside a bit of the salad bar. We also get to see their Chuck walk around here, being the mid-80s version of Derby attire, though no Derby on his head. We also get to see their bots again, with them still being in good shape, and now being in their normal attire. By 1990, the location would receive the 1986 remodel, receiving a Chuck E. Cheese's pizza exterior, adding colored checkers, painting their walls white, adding newer decor to replace older decor, and replacing their shelf stage with a C stage, which I don't believe was very common, as many stores went from a shelf to a balcony before getting a C stage or rocker stage. We see all of this in 1990 footage, as well as a good look at their C stage, where the bots are not in the greatest of shape, with one of Helen's eyelids getting stuck and her arm bending in ways it shouldn't normally be able to. We also get to see some of their games and some of their rides. We get to see more of this in 1991 footage, where we get a small look at their bots, which look to be in good shape from the little we get to see here. We also get to see a look at some of their games, some of their rides, the ball crawl, and their prize counter. We also get to see a look at the exterior, with their sign mounted to the exterior glass. Footage from late 1991 gives us a look at more of their games, more of their rides, their stage, with the characters and stage decked out in Christmas attire and decorations, and their Chuck walk around, being the late 80s to early 90s head in full Thumbchuck attire. By the late 90s, the location would receive the Operation Thumbchuck remodel, receiving a Thumbchuck exterior, removing the colored checkers, adding newer decor to replace the older decor, adding sky tubes, and most likely around the same time, replacing the C stage with a 2 stage. 2003 footage gives us our only look at the store during its Operation Thumbchuck days, taking place in the showroom, where we could see things such as games and rides in the background, plus their sky tubes. We also get to see their 2 stage, which looks to be in pretty good shape, with no issues I can clearly see. We also get to see some of the decor they had at the time, such as Mount Chuckmore and their shelves, plus their Chuck walk around, being the 90s head with the cool Chuck cap and a red shirt. By 2008, the location would receive the 2005 update to the cool Chuck reconfiguration, changing the exterior to an Avenger Chuck exterior, painting some of the walls purple, adding newer decor to replace the older decor, and tearing down the showroom walls and balcony seating. We get our first look at this exterior in July of 2008 from Google Maps, where we see that they have a typical Avenger Chuck exterior, with the Avenger Chuck logo and purple and red awnings. We have 2 photos from 2012, with the first showing us that their Chuck bot had a mix of Avenger and Cool Chuck attire on by this point, with Cool Chuck shorts and an Avenger Chuck shirt and cap. Also notable here is the fact that Munch still had his Pizza Time Theater mask on by this point. Another photo from 2012 gives a look at their Chuck walk around, being the usual Avenger one, though with the red shirt on instead. 2013 footage shows their stage off briefly, and while I can't get a good look at their condition here, we do see that Chuck still has the same attire on by this point, including the cap. By 2015, the cap would be removed. 2019 footage almost exclusively shows Chuck's part of the stage off, so we don't get a full look at the stage's condition, though Chuck appears to have a few movements out, such as his body turn and his left arm. By 2020, the sky tubes would be removed. 2021 footage shows us that the stage is in poor shape, with many movements being out across the whole show, such as Jasper's left eye not working at all, both of his arms being out, and Helen's mouth not working as well, to name a few issues. 2022 footage shows the stage to be in the same poor shape as before, with no real differences I could see. 2023 footage shows that the stage is in a bit of better shape, with some of Helen's movements now working, such as her mouth and eyelids, though everything else looks to be in the same shape. 2024 footage shows the stage to have declined again in shape, with Helen's mouth not working again, and is in the same shape as it was before. The back of Miss Wally's head is also missing here. The latest footage of the stage shows it to be in even worse shape overall, as although Helen's mouth and eyelids are working again, Chuck barely moves at all here, as is the case for the other characters as well. The same day this was filmed, on September 21st, 2025, the location would close, with the area apparently being rezoned for housing of some kind. At the time of closure, this was the oldest operating Chuck E. Cheese in the world, and was the last location still open from the 70s. As of October of 2025, the location still remains vacant, and if the rezoning is true, the building will most likely be demolished and replaced with housing of some kind. As for the fate of the bots, it's unknown what happened to them. The 15031 Golden West Street location opened on October 2nd, 2025 as the Chuck E. Cheese, opening with a 2.0 remodel. They opened with a 2021 model dance floor and video wall. This is a relocation of the original one, and since it's such a new store, there's nothing else of note to discuss about it, so let's move on. In conclusion, Huntington Beach reminds me of Cooser in terms of its history. In the 70s and 80s, there were a lot of notable things to discuss about it. Afterwards, though, it largely became a standard store. Of course, it was still notable for how old it was, like Cooser was, and despite the poor condition of the bots in its later years, overall, Huntington Beach was still a cool area to go over. Thank you guys for watching this video. I didn't expect for there to be a lack of info from the mid 90s up until the 2010s for a location that's this old. I suppose people may have not cared about it as much until Kusser closed, though, since that's when it actually became the oldest operating store. Anyways, my next video will be going over the history of Showbiz Pizza Place and Chuck E. Cheese in North Richland Hills, Texas, which had a one-of-a-kind stage setup that you'll get to see next week. If you're interested in seeing that, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you're notified when it drops. If you want to find me elsewhere, I've got an Instagram page linked in the description down below. That's going to do it for now though, so God bless, and I hope you all have a blessed day.